What's up, family? Welcome back to another video with Makaiza and DSL, the way that we walk the path together toward the sun. Now, let's go ahead and get started with something because we're going to be quick today. What we're going to talk about today is self-help pros and cons of self-help. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what the fuck could be a con of self-help. But as you can see here, my personal brain, as well as research done by other people, has compiled this is a short list. It's very much more extensive than this. However, what you'll find out of this, you can dive in on yourself and really dive deep on what could possibly be a con to self-help. Now, we have pros here and cons here, as we can clearly see. Perceived is this word. These are perceived pros of self-help, and these are perceived cons of self-help, all right? So obviously, the first thing we're going to talk about are the good things that are or should be obvious to all of us. But let's talk about it for a second. Awareness, okay, that's pro number one. When you are diving into the realm of self-help, what you normally come across is the first thing people will tell you is to become aware. You have to first become aware of what you're doing and what you're not doing. That's either keeping you away from what you want or pushing you toward what you want. That way you can start to calibrate accordingly. Now, number two is open-minded. When you're going through self-help, your mind naturally begins to open because you're now being exposed to things that you had yet to be exposed to. So you are now becoming more open-minded along with the awareness. Well, that's some good shit. That's awesome. Thoughts improve. Right? Because now what you have done is you've taken out a few of the negative thoughts and possibly reframed a couple of thoughts in your mind to help you along your way. Actions are taken. You start taking action because you have awareness, an open mind, and your thoughts have improved. So when you have those three things aligned, the next obvious step is to take action, right? Spread the word. You start to talk about it. You start to help other people and say, hey, this is working for me. I'm seeing some great results, and I hope that it helps you too. So we naturally want to spread the word about things that are either good or bad, right? But most people who are in the self-help realm look to spread good word about self-help and how other people can utilize the same tools to their advantage. Increased internal value. When you're going through this self-help stuff, what you're going to learn is that you are very valuable as a human being, right? Your value is up to you to see, but that's what self-help, that realm helps you to do, is to see the value within yourself, at least a little bit. We get better relationships out of it, especially if you're in the business world, right? You begin to network with other people. You start to follow other people who are online speaking the same things that you're learning about. You may have different conversations with your family members and with people in your life. You may have even better relationships with your animals. I mean, it's really a great thing. Now, the last one down here is transform. So through this entire process, you end up transforming, right? So now that we've gone through the perceived pros of self-help, let's go through the perceived cons. So the perceived cons of self-help is that one can become selfish and narcissistic. Now, I have not fallen victim to it, but I have definitely had this experience more than once, especially when I first got started in learning that one can help itself to become better. I became selfish and narcissistic because I would always think that I had the answers to everything, which is right here. Think you have all the answers. I should have put it here. Sorry, I was going to do that on purpose when I wrote it. But we think that we have all the answers, which entitles us, right? That's one of the key things is entitlement of selfish and narcissistic people. We have this entitled sense of, oh my God, I'm better than everything. And where does that come from? That comes from this. That comes from the pro of the increased internal value that you gain when you're starting to do self-help. It's a natural thing. So don't think that it's you not being on the path headed toward helping yourself. You're on the path. You just have to be aware of these little roadblocks that can get you stuck. And that had me stuck for a long time. And I'm out of that place now, so I can clearly see where I was. Now, the second con is that you become closed-minded and you put up barriers, right? Now, this comes in line with beliefs, right? Your belief system. The reason why you become so closed-minded is because you became open-minded to something that you were unaware of. Now, what you closed your mind off to was any other thing that could possibly help you. For instance, perfect example. When I was consuming content back in 2015, 16, and 17, it was every single day, all day long. I would just consume and consume and consume and just think I'm learning as much as possible. But what I lacked was not necessarily taking action. What I lacked was the understanding that I could also meditate, do yoga, right? I only wanted to focus on the physical shit that I could do right now to take these actions. You see what I'm saying? Because when you think of meditating and yoga, you're like, okay, I can do that another time. I can do that later and I'll still get the same result. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You have to start where you are. And if that's right now, I really strongly suggest that you turn off this video the second it's over with. Look up a YouTube guided meditation or practicing yoga. Do that. If it's 10, 15 minutes long, do it. Because what I did was I closed off my mind to the expansiveness of my own mind. Because I was focused on simply honing in on what can I physically practice that's going to take me to the next level with results that I can see on paper, right? Results I can see on paper. Now, in particular for me, this was with real estate, and this was also with any type of sales. I wanted the results right away, so I ignored the meditation and the yoga. Okay, now that's just an example. For you, you may be only focused on the meditation and the yoga and blocking out any type of communication skills, any type of body language skills. You're probably blocking out NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which dives right in line with meditation and yoga. So think about where you're blocking your own knowledge base when you're self-helping, okay? Now, you have it's forced and unnatural. This is what I noticed for me, was that I was trying to, the people I was consuming that content from, I was trying to embody who they were, right? Instead of simply taking what they've done and applying it to my life. So when I was trying to become them, and I knew it, but I didn't really understand it. Cause I'm like, well, no shit, I want to become them. That's what I want to be. That's who I feel like I am destined to be. However, it was forced. I was forcing myself to be something that I'm not. And it was completely unnatural. Those are one and the same. No real understanding of why you're taking the actions. This goes right in line with here. The actions are taken, right? So no real understanding of why taking actions. When I wrote this down, what I was thinking was, when we're taking these actions and we're trying to improve, what are we doing? We're taking actions, like I said, that are going to give us physical results right the fuck now. Not tomorrow, not the next day, but we want those physical results now. That's the only reason why we're taking action, because we want the result instead of enjoying the journey along the way. You've heard this 100 times. I know you have. But enjoy that fucking journey, because once it's gone, it's gone. Your result is there. That's great. And then you're going to look back and see all the things that you did to get to that result. And that's where the magic has been applied and has made it happen for you. Decreased self-worth. Now you see, I wrote this right next to increased internal value. Because just because your internal value has been discovered, this word should really be discovered internal value. But because you've discovered your internal value, does not equal your self-worth. Because your self-worth is something that you fabricate in your own mind, and you can create it to be whatever you want. Your internal value is never going to change, but your self-worth and the way that you think about yourself is always subject to change. And when you're in this realm of self-help, and you end up, like I did, having a decreased self-worth by feeling like, oh my God, I'm not doing any of this shit that they're teaching me. I'm not applying any of this stuff that they're telling me to do. I haven't done that. I haven't done this. I haven't even thought of that. Where do they come up with this stuff? So you start to feel less and less and less smart, to be real. You start to feel less smart. You start to feel more dumb, which is actually a pro, right? Because think about it. The less you know, the more you have to learn, right? The man who knows anything knows that he knows nothing. Or the woman that knows anything knows that she knows nothing. So this can actually be considered a pro as well. But to the mind who doesn't think to go one step deeper, you have a decreased self-worth. And I was that mind that didn't want to go a step deeper. I didn't want to say, okay, I have this value, right? I'm very valuable as a person, but my self-worth doesn't match up. I couldn't make that connection. But now that I can see, I see it. So another one, creates more confusion than answers. Again, these two can be paired together simply because it can also be a pro. If you're confused about something, well, then you're going to more than likely, hopefully, please, I'm going to ask you right now, please, if you're confused about something, go find the answers. Because the more and more that you leave it alone, the less and less you're going to be inclined to find the answer. And then one day you're going to say, fuck, I should have went and got that answer. But either way, you think you have all the answers. That's the next one. Think we have all the answers. We already touched it here with selfish and narcissism. You expect to feel good 100% of the time. This one right here fucking hit me. And I hope it hits you as well. Because when you expect to feel good 100% of the time, you're going to see adversity as failures. You're going to see setbacks as I'm not doing good enough. You're going to see everything as I am not doing what I thought I was doing. That is how I felt for a long time when I expected to feel good 100% because all these people in this fucking self-help realm tell you that you have the capacity to have no problems, to have everything you want. Yes, of course we do. But what you don't tell us, people, gurus, is that you basically are implanting in our mind that we should be expecting to feel good 100% of the time when factually, as human entities, that is impossible. Impossible. Chasing what you already are, right here with your increased internal value. You're chasing what you already are as a self-help seeker. You are already what you want to be. It's a matter of lining up to that vibration and that vortex that's going to bring you more into yourself. How do we do that? I'm so glad you asked. Meditate. So now that we've gone over the pros and cons, perceived pros and cons to save all of you, write down in the comments, which side are you leaning more toward? Because if you're watching me, you're probably in the self-help realm and you're probably very keen on what I'm talking about. So tell me, what is it side that you're on? First of all, are you on the pro side or the con side in terms of your stage, right? Because all these pros come first, the cons come after. You go through this process first and then you go through this stage second. But if you don't ever know that this is a stage, you're going to be stuck here. So I've been able to come out of the con stage and now I'm just I'm just here. I'm just help. I'm just self-help. I'm just self-helping. That's it. So which side are you on? Tell me, do any of these cons make sense to you? Does this make sense on how it can possibly be a pro as well? And if you get the understanding, right? Or do you see the cons as all pros? Tell me, because I want to know what you're thinking. This is just my own perception, as well as a couple of other psychologists and doctors out there who have seen this information. So let us know. Thank you for joining me on this video. And this has been DSL, where we walk the path together to the sun, baby. Let's go.